Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online guide video. Now, a lot of people say I need to improve on my content, and they're right, I do. I really do. So I am going to be using some new software here soon. I need to learn how to use it first. It's going to take me some time. So give me a couple weeks to get in and work with it and try and figure it out before I start really editing stuff and utilizing that tool. Okay? Now, moving on. So this guide is a guide to understanding character development. See, every character you make in the game has to go through the process of development because you have to progress them to develop them into what you want. No matter how much you wish you could make them the way you want right away, a lot of times you can't because of the limited options you have available. And that's because we are all limited in the beginning. We are limited to the skills we learn and all this stuff. So what I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use the PTS as a way to show you how you can kind of use the tools to develop the kind of character you would want to play. Now, there's somebody out there that asked me if I could make them or show them how to make a two-handed lightning staff type tank character or character that they can play. And I said, yeah, I can do that. But what kind of tools do you want to use? Like, do you want to just use lightning staff and two-handed, or do you want me to show you how you can actually learn how to use sword and shield, rest of staff, and other things so you have the access to those? So I'm going to use the PTS, like I said. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to pick a character that's already max level, as you can see, Elsewhere max level character. And we're going to pick to be a high elf, because high elf's really good with magic, okay? And this would be a good option for this setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this an example character. And we will just go... I'm really picky about the way my characters look. Sorry. Like, I want them to look a certain way. The face is fine. But we'll just do this. And we'll jump in game. I'm going to go to my villa, because I have a lot of tools there that I can use to show you what I'm talking about. So you guys can see for yourselves what I mean by this is what you can do with your character. Okay? A lot of people don't see all the tools they have available because they don't take the time to learn the tools available. See, there's a lot of things you can use out there in the game that you have access to. Like, you can use the wiki, you can use Alcast's and Wooler's ESO sets, which is a great site, by the way, for looking at just sets. And I think they're adding more tools to it, which is really good. I'm really excited to see what else they do with it. It's a really good tool. And there is other things you can do. You can just watch videos to learn how sets work, or just test them yourself in-game. Alright, so because the PTS has a few errors, I need to do a few things real quick. I need to turn off a few add-ons, because Combat Metrics is bugged right now, and so is LUI Extended, so I need to reload my UI. And like I said, I do apologize for the length of this video. I don't know how to use the software yet to edit the video and edit this stuff out yet. As soon as I figure that out, I'll start doing that and utilizing that software so I can do better videos. All right, going back in here. So I need to change a few things on my settings because I'm really picky about stuff. You know, everyone's anal in their own way. Combat. I like to see things, so. Alright. And controls. Like I said, I just have a certain way I like to do things, or have things. Just like anyone, because we all have our own preferences. This is just so I can screenshot it when we're done, and I can show you guys the thing with the screenshot. Oops, that's it. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, we are going to go to my villa in Eleanor. Gotta do this too because this is gonna drive me nuts. I hate seeing flashing things on my screen. And I'm just gonna dump that because I don't need it. Alright. Let's go to the villa. Now, the thing you have to understand about developing a character, if you want it to work a certain way, you have to be able to use certain tools to do that. And that's how character development works, is utilizing the skills and tools that you have in the game to give you the best results. So this way you can choose how you want to set your character up. So one of the hardest things that most people have with making a character and making them the way they want is utilizing the tools available to do what they want it to do. And you got to remember, you're only limited by the choices of the game's design. So you can only do so much with your character. All right, so here we are in the villa. The first thing you're going to want to do is your skills, or your stuff for your character. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off. And it's a good thing I picked Sorcerer for me, because this is what the person wanted to play. And we're gonna just pretend you're at where I'm at, okay? So as your character progresses, you're gonna be able to unlock your racial passives. Your racial passives give you certain benefits. Those benefits apply to your character in different ways depending on what race you are. In this case, we're a high elf. So what we get is we get this thing called Spell Recharge, we get Searbane's Boon, and we get Elemental Talent. Now, when you have these maxed out, they give you some pretty crazy benefits. Because this gives you 640, when you activate a class ability, you restore 640 magicka or stamina based on whichever is lowest. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. When you are using an ability with a channel or cast time, you take 5% less damage. The next thing you need to look at is this, of course, 2,000 max stamina, or max magicka, and then this one increases your spell damage by 258. Now, the reason I chose the High Elf is because of the benefits it offers for a magicka character. But we're not going to be just a magicka character. See, what we're going to do is we're going to make a character that can utilize both magicka and stamina. And in order to do that, you have to use the right tools. Okay? So, let's just hypothetically say you've played the game for a long time, you've experienced a lot of stuff, you've acquired the ability to do what I'm going to do. So, let's pick some sets. Now, I'm going to use just basic sets. I'm not going to use trial sets or anything. I'm just going to use basic sets that are easily obtainable. So, there is a dungeon set I want to use for this because I think it would be the better option. And I'm going to use a light armor overland set that I think would be a good option. I'm not saying that it's the best option. I'm just saying it's a good option. Now, the light armor set I want to use is the Mad Tinker, and I'm going to grab this in the body. So I'm going to grab the robes, the legs, the boots, and the belt. I'm going to grab these 5 pieces, because when you get to max level, you're going to wear a monster set, and a monster set is going to take up your head and shoulders. So you've got to use the rest of your character's tools to balance it out. So because we're using this, we're going to use 5 light pieces of armor. So we're going to equip them like so. Now, because I've done this, there are certain passives in the game that are going to be beneficial to you in the Undaunted skill line. If you want to boost your max health, magic, and stamina, it's better to use what's called a 5-1-1 setup. That means 5 pieces of light, 1 heavy, 1 medium. The reason why is it will give you a 6% increase in your max health, stamina, and magicka. See, right now it says 2%, because all I'm wearing is light. Now, you'll also get a 20% increase to health, magic, and stamina from champion points once you get to 300 champion points. Now, remember, to do this kind of character takes a long time. It's not something you're going to do in a day or a week or a month. It's something you're going to have to spend a long time doing. So, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to unlock the class passives, all of them, because we are going to take advantage of every class passive, because you never know what abilities you might use or what you might not use. Because it is your character. Your character's your tools. I can't tell you what I think is going to be the most effective or the best effective, because it's not my character. I can just guide you to tools and show you how they work. Alright, now the one thing that he said that he wanted to do with his character was make it to use two-handed. So we're going to go ahead and learn the two-handed. And we're going to go ahead and learn destruction stabs, because these are the two tools they want to use to play the game. Now, remember, when you start a character, this is pretty much how it's going to be for the first 50 levels. You're going to be using the tools you want to use, because those are the ones you're going to want to primarily use most of the time. Now, a lot of people will see this and say, well, you're really restricting your ability to play. But that's a player's choice. See, when you make a character, it's your character. Nobody can decide how effective it can be besides you. And you can only make it as effective as the game allows. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to learn light armor passives, all of them. The reason you're going to do that is because that's what the primary armor type that this character wears. And this will allow you to take advantage of magicka mainly. So you'll get Grace, which reduces the effectiveness of stairs applied to you by 4% for each piece of light armor worn. You're also going to get reduces the cost of sprint by 3% for each piece of light armor worn. You'll see 20% and 15%. We get evocation. Increases your magic recovery by 4% for each piece of light armor equipped. Reduces the cost of your... Reduces the magic cost of your abilities by 2% for each piece of light armor equipped. Now, the thing you also have to understand is playing this game, you have to learn to play your character. That means the more experience you gain playing your character, the more effective you're going to become, and the more resource management you're going to be able to do based on your own play style. Because you're going to know, okay, I'm running low on resources. I need a heavy attack. I need to use a potion. I need to use the tools available to me to get those resources back. But you can also take advantage of your recovery if you want to. Moving on, we have spell warding. Increases your spell resistance by 363 for each piece of light armor. Now, you know, because you have this is going to allow you to boost your spell resistance. So it's going to increase it by 1815. The next thing is, when 5 pieces or more of light armor equipped, increase your spell critical by 2191. Now this, what it does, if you look here, it increases your crit chance with spell damage. Our weapon crit is really low. And there's certain tools you can use to boost your weapon crit. And that's what we're going to do here in a minute. We're going to use a certain set to give us a certain boost to our weapon damage and our ability to do weapon critical. Now remember, you are restricted, because you're going to develop your character with those restrictions in mind. And that's how these games work. See, when you make a character, your character only develops as good as you want him to be. If you want him to be the best magicka person only, you need to focus on being the best magicka person only. You want him to be focused on stamina only, you need to focus on stamina only. But playing like this, it does restrict your ability to stamina and magicka only. And in order for it to be really good, you have to make it as optimal as you can, because you can only make it as optimal as the game will allow. Alright, moving on. Back to skills. So we're going to also unlock the passives for medium armor, because you are wearing one piece of medium and one piece of heavy. And you want to take advantage of every piece of thing you can for a reason. Because it does save you in the long run. Even though it's so small, trust me, it will help out. So this, we're going to take the top two. The reason why is this is going to increase our weapon critical by 328 for each piece of medium armor worn. We're going to take the top one here because this is going to increase our stam recovery by 4% for each piece of medium armor equipped. It also reduces our stamina cost of our abilities by 2%. And then going down here to athletics, increase your movement speed bonus by 3% for each piece of medium armor worn, and then reduces your roll dodge by 4% for each piece of medium armor worn. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you how you can set your CP to be the most effective with this setup. But I want you to hear me out, because when you do this, you're restricting your playstyle to those two specific weapons. But when you get developed, you develop your character more, you'll have more skill points where you can spin them into other tools. And we'll get to that in a minute. Next, we're going to do the heavy armor. Again, you're going to start with the top two. This one's going to increase your physical and spell resist by 302 for each piece of heavy armor equipped. It might look small, but everything you can do to your character to improve their survivability, their capability to play, is what you want to do. And then we're going to do this so we can gain Constitution, which gives us increased health recovery, and then restores magic and stamina whenever you take damage. So you're only going to gain a certain amount because you are wearing one piece of heavy armor. And then you're going to want to take Juggernaut. Now Juggernaut's going to increase your max health by 2%. Now remember how I told you that the Undaunted skill line gives you 6% increase to your max health, magic, and stamina? Now because you're going to wear one piece of heavy, you're going to have a 6% plus a 2%. You're actually increasing your max health by 8%, plus another 20% from CP. So 28% increase in your max health. Alright, so now that you've done that, now we're going to go back into our inventory and we're going to grab that one dungeon medium armor set I was talking about. This is going to give you an edge with doing stamina, okay? Just an edge, not a whole lot to make you super powerful, but to give you an edge so you can take advantage of your stamina side. So we're going to use Tooth Throw. The reason we're going to use Tooth Throw is Tooth Throw gives you max stamina, weapon crit, and then weapon damage, and then you gain major savagery at all times, increasing your weapon critical. See, this is a set that you're taking advantage of because of how it works. So we're going to go in here and we're only going to grab the jewelry and the weapons crate. Now this is going to allow us to equip the jewelry, and the jewelry is going to give us those benefits. Now you can see as I'm equipping it, my stats are changing because I'm wearing 5 pieces of light armor with all magicka in it. I'm wearing these 3 pieces of jewelry with stamina on them. Now, what else I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab the weapons, the two-handed and the staff. So I'm going to grab a two-handed sword, because that's what the person wants to use, and they want to use a lightning staff. These are the tools they chose. Now, what would be a really good combination for this is something that's going to help improve our increased spell critical. Okay? Because we are limited to the tools we have. And we don't have any way of boosting our spell crit by a whole lot. Because we are a Sorc, we do have a passive in our own class, right here called Daedric Summoning, that we can use called Bound Armor. Now, Bound Armor, we have 2 morphs. You have Bound Armament, which increases your max stamina by 5%, or you have Bound Aegis, which increases your max magicka by 5%. Now, at max rank, this will actually give you 8% max magicka and 8% max stamina. What we're going to do is we're going to take Bound Aegis. Now, the reason we're going to take Bound Aegis is it also gives us Minor Ward and Minor Resolve, but we're not going to use it. We're only going to unlock it, so we have it available to us if we need it. And you'll see where we need it here in a minute. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Mage's Guild. The Mage's Guild has a lot of great tools in it. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and learn the passives of the Mage's Guild. And this is going to give us a lot of different functionality from this. One of the first things we're going to do, because we're going to focus in the magicka, is we need to give ourselves increased max magicka. Inner Light gives you 5% max magicka while slotted. And it also gives you Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical. So we're going to put this there, and we're going to put it on the back bar. So we always have that major major, major prophecy, okay? So we've just limited how many skills we can equip to our character to 8. And these are active skills, because we're choosing to use this to give us that major prophecy so we can increase our damage output. Now, if you go over here, you'll see that we have a 44.6% spell critical. And unfortunately, because of the way this character's set up, that's the best it can get. See, right now I already know that's as high as it's going to get, unless I use something else to change it. Like if I change the sets. But I really like this setup, because I really like how that 5-piece set works with Mad Tinkers. Because, see, the Mad Tinkers set is a really cool set when you look at it. It gives you 2 things of spell crit, one spell damage, and then when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to summon a Verminous Fabricant that charges the nearest enemy, dealing X amount of shock damage to all enemies in its path, knocking them into the air and stunning them for 2 seconds. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. Being in melee combat, this is going to be really good for you. Because, see, while you're doing melee combat, you're going to be sitting there up front. And if you're fighting a lot of enemies in a pack, you can use this to send that out and hit those enemies and knock them up and out of the way. And it helps your allies because it'll stun them. Even though it spreads them out more, it does help with stunning them. And this is a choice. This is a choice I made because I like the way this tool set works. And I say a tool set, that's what it is. It's a set piece or a gear set, but it's a tool within the game. All right. Now we need to look at monster sets, because monster sets is going to be our next choice. Now, what kind of monster set would go really, really good with this? See, would Grothdar go really good, where it gives you more magicka, and then it creates a lava swirl pool around you? Or do you want to stick to something that's going to make you more like that's going to resemble more of a Sork and give you the benefits of a Sork? See, there is a set that is really good for Sork, especially if you're playing somebody who utilizes both magicka and stamina, and that's Stormfist. And the reason why Stormfist is such a good combination with this is because it does both shock damage and physical damage, which you can boost both with your CP and for being a Sork. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. We are going to grab the heavy helm, and we're going to grab the medium shoulders, because this is going to give us the best armor value for our character right now. Now you can see already our character's starting to develop into what we want it to be. But we haven't started unlocking skills yet. And the reason I haven't started unlocking skills is because I want you to see the potential of what your character can do first, before I start unlocking skills. Now that we got this done, let's see how we have our stuff set up. Well, we have max health, stamina, magicka, 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 magicka. Now we want this character to be well-rounded, right? We want to be able to use magicka, health, and stamina effectively. And there's several ways we can do this. We can use our enchants to manipulate our character's attributes. And there's a lot of different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the consumables here. And I'm going to open up the enchantments stuff. And in here I have all the enchantments I need to set this character up. So what is going to make this character the most effective way to utilize stamina, magicka, and health in the best, most effective way possible? Well, it really comes down to the player's opinion and choice, because everyone has their own opinion and choice on what's going to be the most effective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick no health. I'm going to pick 2 magicka. I'm going to pick 2 stamina. And then I'm going to pick 3 of these. The reason I pick these is this is going to give me a well-rounded character all the time. Because I'll be able to take advantage of magicka or stamina regardless of what I'm doing. Because I'll always have a decent sized pool. Not a massive pool, because I can only go so high for being a high elf. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's set these up. We're going to enchant this with a prismatic. This is going to give us tri-stats in that headpiece. And then we're going to put 2 magic enchants. We're going to put them on the belt and boots. And this is just You can do this any way you want. This is just to give us that option to play our character more well-rounded, like I said. And you're going to see already, we have a higher stamina than we do magicka. And we have a really high stam recovery. And the reason why is because of our trait or our enchants on our jewelry. Do we need that much recovery on stamina? No. Why not? Because our character's made to focus more into magic recovery. Because we're choosing magic armor. We use light armor. So take advantage of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change out our enchants on our jewelry. Now, because of our sets, one set gives us spell damage, the other one gives us weapon damage. Now, it doesn't give us a lot of this, okay? And that's fine. It doesn't have to give us a lot. Because we can actually manipulate our character to give us more. And I'll show you how in a second. So, I want this character to be well-rounded, as I said. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this with my jewelry enchants. Not because I have to, but because this to me, is going to be the most effective. So, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab this. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to grab a magic recovery. Now, the reason I'm grabbing a magic recovery is because we can take advantage of that for being in light armor. Now, you guys are probably going to say, but you're going to lose a lot of stamina recovery. We actually get some here. And we can actually improve that. And I'll show you guys how. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to enchant this with a harm, physical harm, a magic harm, and then a magic recovery. Now, our character has a 901 magic recovery. We want to get that as high as possible, right? We want to take advantage of our character. And we want to take advantage of every tool we can, because we want to min-max our character to make them the best we can. Now, like I said, this is just me showing you how you can do this. You can choose how you set this up when you're all done and make those decisions yourself. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go back in here and we need to finish filling out our character and giving us more tools. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of our class passes, which I think I already did. Yes, I did. Alright, so now we have all the class passes unlocked. Now we're going to unlock the class skills to give us more benefit. Okay? Let's start with dark magic. What in dark magic is going to be good for you? Well, I like the ultimate negate magic, so I'm going to unlock it. And there is one here I really like. I like suppression field because it does damage enemies and it also has the chance of see, suppression field, 12 seconds removing and preventing all enemies area of effect abilities from occurring in the area. So it basically stops them from casting certain abilities, and enemies within the globe are stunned while enemy players will be silenced rather than stunned. Globe also damages enemies for 870 magicka damage over 5 seconds. Now, I chose this because that's the ability I want to use. Now we're going to go down and we're going to do this with every skill here. I'm not going to read every skill. If you want to know what every skill does, I'll put a link in the description to the wiki for the game, and you can go in there and you can look at the skills and you can check out for yourself how the skills work, because the wiki is a great tool for that. So, next one's Crystal Shards. Everyone has their preference here. There's Crystal Blast. This one will stun the enemy and deals area of effect damage. That's what it does, so it's up to you if you want to use it. Same with Crystal Fragments. Now, for my personal preference, I am going to use Crystal Frags. Next is Encase. Now, you guys are probably going, why are you unlocking all these skills? See, I have a lot of skill points. I'm going to take advantage of them on purpose. We have Shattering Prison and Restraining Prison. Well, this one grants major vitality for 2 seconds plus 1 second per enemy. And this one grants shards deal damage. I want the damage one because if it explodes, it's going to do damage to the enemies, and that's what I wanted to do. Ruin Prison. Now, this one, you know, I guess it's dependent on how you do it, but we're going to take the defensive Ruin. Cast spell on self, stunning the next enemy who attacks you. We're going to grab Dark Exchange. We're actually going to grab the Dark Deal. This one will exchange stamina for magicka. But since we're going to have problems with our stamina recovery, we'll go with Dark Conversion, converting magicka into stamina. This is for when we focus on playing a stamina character. Next up, we have Daedric Mines. We're going to go ahead and grab Daedric Minefield. Then we're going to go through Daedric Summoning. Here, I'm going to grab the Atronach, and I'm going to grab this one, the Summon Charged Atronach, because this one gains a powerful area of effect attack. I like that. This one, we're going to grab the Unstable Clanfear, because, you know, it's cool. Then we're going to grab Daedric Curse. We're going to learn Haunting Curse. With Summon Winged Twilight, we are actually going to use the Twilight Matriarch, so we have something that we can help our group with if we need a heal. And we are going to grab Hardened Ward. Then we're going to go to Storm Calling. We're going to do the same thing here. And I'm just going to go through now and start picking stuff without explaining. This way I can get through the video a little bit quicker. So I will go through and explain in other videos how this stuff works. So I'm going to do Lightning Flood because it has a greater area of effect. And this one I want Major Brutality, Major Sorcery, and we're going to use Ball Lightning. Now, a lot of these skills you won't use all the time. In fact, you're going to find a preference of skills that you like to use most of the time. And that's fine. That's how the game's made, is for you to pick the skills you want to use and take advantage of those skills the way you want to. So let's go ahead and move on. We've already done this. Now let's unlock our weapons skills. We have two-handed. So I'm gonna take killing an enemy with this ability refunds ultimate cost. This one you're immune to all. We're gonna go with this, Berserker's Rage. I like using Wrecking Blow. And we're gonna use Stampede because I like the reduces the enemy movement speed. Then I'm going to pick one of these. I can do more damage, or I can gain a shield. I want the shield for survivability. We're going to go with Reverse Slice to hit more targets, and we're going to grab Rally. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why are you doing this? Why are you grabbing these specific skills? And I'll explain in a second. So, Destruction Staff. I like the one that follows me. For this, I'm going to use the Crushing Shock, so I have an interrupt. And with this one, we are going to use the Elemental Blockade. Here, we're going to use Destructive Clinch, or Destructive... this is hard. I like Clinch. And for this one, I do like this Elemental Drain. So, that's if I need it. And for this one, we will go with Pulsar, because it applies Minor Mangle. Now, we got our armor stuff. We've got all the other things. We are going to unlock a few world skills here just to have the benefit of them. And you know what? Let's go ahead and unlock the ultimate. The ultimate might be a good tool to use. We're going to go with Shattered Soul. This one is really cool. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to grab the Fighters Guild stuff. The reason we're going to grab Fighters Guild is so we can take advantage of the Fighters Guild passives for when we choose to play our character a certain way. So let's go up here. We're going to unlock... We don't need this because we already have it on our armor. Instead, we're going to grab Trap Beast, or Rearming Trap. We're going to grab Dawnbreaker, and we're going to grab Flawless Dawnbreaker. We're also going to grab Silver Leash, just so we have that tool. And you know what? Because it might come in handy, let's grab one of these. Let's grab Ring of Preservation. Then we're going to go down here to Sigic Order. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to learn all the passives. And we're going to do the same thing with these. We're going to learn the skills that we want from it. Alright. So here we got Undo. I do like the Temporal Guard. That is a really cool ability. I like Time Freeze because it's an instant cast. This one I do like Elemental Weapon, and that would come in handy for when I'm on my two-handed. Race Against Time. And I love the Min's Spirit. We're also going to grab this. We're going to grab Introspection. Now, you guys can see, I'm just going through and I'm grabbing skills that I think would be effective for my character. Now with this one, I'm not going to grab Degeneration because I already have a way of getting Major Sorcery from my class if I need it. I am going to grab this because I can also increase my max health. With this one, we'll go with, I love Volcanic Ruin, it's a really powerful skill. And this, we're going to grab Balance. Alright. Now I'm not touching Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood because I'm not making a character designed to be an assassin rogue type. Now let's go up here and let's grab Blood Altar. We're going to grab Overflowing Altar. This one we're going to grab Tangling Webs. We're going to grab Inner Rage. We are going to grab Spike Bone Shield. And we are going to grab Mystic Orb. Now I'm going to go down here to Alliance Skills. Alliance Skills. I like Warhorn. Aggressive Warhorn might be better. Let's see. I'm going to grab Resolving Vigor. And I'm going to grab Caltrops. And then we're going to go down here. We're going to grab this Refreshing Barrier. We're going to grab Efficient Purge. And we're going to grab Stalwart Guard. We're also going to unlock this just for the passive. See, when you have this, you get increased magic recovery by 10% with each support ability slotted. So, now that we have that, now what we're going to do is we're going to finish adjusting our character's attributes. See, right now we know that this is how our character's set up. When we're on two-handed, we have this. We want to be able to boost our weapon damage on this bar as high as we can. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to adjust the weapon here, the Tooth Row, to be a Nirnhond. This is going to increase our weapon damage even higher on that bar. Now when we do the staff, we're going to actually use an infused staff. And I'm going to show you guys why I'm doing this here in a second. Because I'm going to show you the tools that I'm going to put in there to make those tools work to my advantage. Alright, so now we're going to go over here to the armor. And we're going to adjust a few things. Because we do want our character to be able to maximize their damage. But we also want them to maximize their recovery. Not because we don't have to, but because it would be better for us to have a good, decent recovery pool for when we use certain things. So let's grab Stormfist. Or do Stormfist first. We're going to give it Invigorating so we can get some recovery. On the Stormfist arm traps, we're going to leave it Divines. Because we are in light armor, that's going to be really good for us. We're going to leave everything else in Divines except for the bigger pieces. So we're going to go ahead and adjust this to Invigorating. Oops, I got to go get some more shards to transmute with. I need more transmutation shards. And that's why I like using the PTS, guys, is because I can sit here and I can do this. And if you have access to the PTS, this is a great place to where you can test ideas. So, alright, now that we've done that, you guys can see that we've got that stuff done, right? Now we've got 945 magic recovery and stamina recovery there. Let's go ahead and change a few things, though. Because we want this character to be well-rounded, we need to change our jewelry up. So the Tooth Row, because it has that magic recovery, we're going to go ahead and make it infused to increase the ability of that magic recovery. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to our transmutation crystals again, because I need a few more. Because I'm going to be changing the traits on those other things. We're going to go with Tri-Rune on the rings to give us more health, magic, and stamina, because we want to take advantage of those stats so we can utilize our character to the most advantageous way we can. Alright. There we go. So our character is pretty much set up how we want them with gear and stuff, right? We have our enchants, we have all of our tools, we have all of our character stuff. But let's go ahead and now set up our CP. So in order for our character to be a good playability, what we want to do is we want to do this. And this is just to make them well-rounded, okay? Nothing more. We're just going to make them well-rounded. Now, the reason I'm picking this CP allocation is because I know this CP allocation. I know how it works. And it is a really good tool that you can use. So, and it does give you a mix of different things with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put let's see. I'm going to get this up to 25. And then I'm going to check something. 12 and 11. All right, that's where I wanted it. Now I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to put the rest of those points into my spell shield. The reason I'm doing this is so I can boost my resistances so they're more equalized. You see? 12,000 and 12,000. Now you can see I still have this set up this way, and you can see my health went up because I put over 100 points into this tree. So now I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm just going to use, like I said, a well-rounded option. Oops. And actually I need to go back here because I'm going to have to reduce this due to the way I'm going to set this up. I know I'm going to limit my abilities. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this up to 43. This will give us or stam recovery increase. This will give us a mag recovery increase, and this will increase our ability to return resources with heavy attacks. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to do this. And we're going to put 40 into both of these. Then we're going to take the last 6 points and we're going to see if we can adjust this to a higher volume. We did. And then we're going to take the last 3 and just put it in here. And we're going to take the last 1 because we only have 1 left. We're just going to throw it here. The reason why is we have nothing to do with this. This ain't going to do us any good putting it anywhere else. So just throwing it here might help, because when you deal damage with light or heavy attack, you decrease the enemy's health, magic, and stam recovery restore and by 0.61%. It's a really small benefit, but alright, now that we've done that, you'll see our stamina pool has gone up to a larger value. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the blue tree. And we're going to make our character more of a hybrid type character. So we're going to take advantage of everything we can to make our character work for us. So, and I'm doing this, putting them in certain percentage values. You can see 10%, 10%, 10%. Then I'm going to go in here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm only going to take it up 10%. And then here I'm going to take it up to 40 where I get 16%. Now you can see I have 89 points left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this up to 40 to 10%. I'm going to do this up to 10%. And I'm going to do this up to 10%. I won't have any more points left because I maxed it all out. Okay? There's my character now. There's my magicka, my health, and my stamina. Now if I want to boost those up even more, I have to use certain tools. I can use my attribute points, which we're not going to focus on yet, or I can use food. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, we're going to grab 3 foods, just 3, from the, where is it? The tester's lunchbox. Now the foods I'm going to grab is I'm going to grab this for when, if I need all 3 stats. I'm going to grab Dubious Camera, or Witch Mother's Potent Brew for when I need Magicka play, for when I'm playing Magicka, and I need this for when I'm playing Stamina. Okay? Those are the foods I want to use for that purpose. Now, what do I want my character to be right now? A tank, a healer, or a damage dealer? That's my next choice. Well, let's say I want to be a tank. Well, my best options is going to be, 1, max out my max health. So, I also need to grab a few other tools here. And really, the only potion I'm going to need for this type of setup, because I already have Major Brutality and Major Sorcery through tools that I can use, is Tri-Crown Potions. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. Now you can see I have a 38.1% weapon critical, a 46.8 spell, or 46.6 spell critical. I want to make my character a stamina damage dealer. What would I do? Well, I would have to use the tools that I have to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this food here, we're going to set this food here, and we're going to set this one here. This way we know this is our Magicka for Magicka builds, this is for our tank stuff, this is for our stamina builds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set them up that way to utilize those tools. Oops, and forgot one last thing here. Now, how can you take advantage of your character like this? Well, 1, your food. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up for stamina build first. So we're going to use a potion or our food to give us our stats. Now you can see our magic recovery is still 1,160. That's really good. Our stam recovery is 1,129. Our max stamina is 18,627, and our max health is 18,208. That's as high as we can get with food. But with our attribute points, we can actually do this. And that's as high as we can get, because the game won't let us get any higher because of the game's limitations. The limitations of our set choices and everything else. Is my character capable of doing stamina damage? Yes. Are they going to be effective? Yes. But they're only effective as good as you can make them. And remember, this isn't the only options and tools you can use. See, you don't have to use Two Throw, and you don't have to use the Mad Tinker set. I'm just using those as tools to show you. Now, this is how I can set it up to be a stamina DPS. I can go in here, and I can pick the class skills that will help me be more effective as a stamina DPS. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of some of this stuff on the back bar, because we don't need it. And we're going to grab the skills we want to use. So on the back bar, we have a lightning staff, right? So we know we're going to be less effective with our magic because we only have 17k magicka. That's it. So we know that on the back bar, it would be better to go with skills that would be more effective for buffing ourselves and doing things like that. So let's see what we got that we can use. Well, we do have Dark Conversion. This would be a really good one to use if we are having issues with our resource pool, okay? So, but it costs stamina, it gives us magic. Bad idea. See? That's what you need to do, is you need to look at what your character can do. This one is going to increase your max magicka. But we're going to lose spell crit. That's fine. We don't need the spell crit right now. We just need the magicka. The other thing you're going to want to do is maybe take a pet. Well, let's grab this guy. We'll put him on this bar. And this one on this bar, so we can have them available at all times. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the Fighters Guild, because some skills from Fighters Guild. We're going to grab this. We're going to grab Dawnbreaker. And we're going to grab Rearming Trap. But we're going to put this on the back bar, along with Silver Leash. And let's go ahead and grab our class resistance buff, because this is going to give us greater survivability. So we're going to put that there. That's what we're going to grab for the back bar. Now, you guys are probably going, but you're limiting your ability to do damage. Yes, I am. I know I am. Because I'm not going to be effective with a lightning staff on the back bar. This is what I can do with what I have. Now, just imagine if I had dual wield or bow on the back bar. Because, see, then I can drop this Silver Leash and this Trap Beast, and I can put Poison Injection, or I could even put Trap Beast, Poison Injection, and Endless Hail, and still take advantage of my character the way they are. Now, since we are on the back bar here, what I'm going to do to help be more effective with the back bar is I'm going to find an ultimate that's going to help for doing damage. And I chose this for the Major Berserk. Now, if you look, I'm not done because I still have my weapon skills. So what I want to do is I want to grab my two-handed, and I want to grab Wrecking Blow, Brawler, and we're going to grab Rally. You know what? Let's not grab Rally. Let's grab Reverse Slide. That way we have damage abilities, right? And we have Dawnbreaker to help us boost our DPS. Now, our character cannot be any more effective than this. The game will not allow us. Because by design, this is as effective as our character gets. The other thing I could do here, instead of using the resistance buff, right, is if I do want to boost my weapon and spell damage, I can always go over here to Storm Calling and grab Power Surge. This is going to give me... Oops. There, we got my pet out. We got Power Surge, right? We've got our two-handed. Now when you go to the front bar, you're going to see we're at 2745 weapon damage with the 38% weapon critical. That's as good as it gets. You can't get it any better, because the game will not let you. That's part of the game. But you have a self-heal from your pet. You also have your crit surge, which is going to give you a increased spell and weapon damage. So it's going to improve your abilities with spell stuff, but you don't need it. You do have even increased resistances now. But let's improve our critical because we want to. So I can go over here to the Thief Mundus Stone, and I can grab this. This is going to increase both spell and weapon crit. Now you're going to see I have a 47.1 weapon crit. On the back bar, I have a 45.7 spell crit. And I have a 2461 spell damage. I have a 17194 Magicka with 19,000 health, 27k stamina on the back bar. Now, is my character viable to play the content? Well, let's go find out. Because this is what it's all about. See, you can only do so much. You can only find out so much with looking at the character. In order to find out how well it is going to be in the world, you have to go play it. Because that's how you test it, is taking it out in the world. And you can test it in a lot of different places. You don't have to just test it in Overland. You can test it in dungeons if you want. You can test it in public dungeons, you know, at world bosses. Different things to push yourself to become a better player. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here because I know there's a world boss up here. And I got to sprint because I forgot to do the mount stuff. Because I was being a noob. But even if you just wanted to play this way, this is how you could do this. But see, you can play the game. That's what it's all about, playing the game. And doing the things you want to do with the character you want, the way you want to play. You should never restrict yourself. See, this is how you can set this character up. This is just one option, because remember, we have a lot of different tools we can use. And see, this is at a world boss, which is... I am really screwed up here. I died. But I wasn't built for solo. See, right now I'm not built for solo play. I'm built more for damage dealing. So I'm actually sacrificed my survivability so I could do damage. And that was by choice. And that was just so I could have the ability to play my character more effectively. Now, the other thing I could do here, if I wanted to, again, is if I wanted to give up more tools to make my character more damage dealing for stamina, I could just switch out a few things. I could take this off my bar instead of giving myself the increased max magicka by 8%. And it is going to lower my magicka pool. But I can move things around, so now I can use other tools. See, I can go into here, and I can grab the Alliance War skill, Caltrops, and put it on the back bar. And I can take advantage of it. Because, see, my Caltrops does, like, not a lot of damage, but 1,552 per thing, per tick. That's not bad. It's not bad. Just like this isn't bad. And this isn't bad. Because this gives me my minor force, which increases my critical damage. So now I can go up here again, and I can add another skill to the front bar here by moving this over. And I can go up here and I can say, you know what? I got a better idea. What I want to do now is I want to grab the... I'm going to grab the Undaunted. And this is just... Remember, this is just me showing you something. I'm not saying you have to do this, but this is something you can do for your character. So what we're going to do now, we're going to resummon our pet. We're going to try this again. Crit Surge. Caltrops. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna die. But you can see, you can keep doing that, and that's how you can play. And this is just one option. But remember, your character's made to be a Magicka character. So let's go turn him into a Magicka damage dealer and see what happens. So we're going to go back to the house and we're going to reset this to a Magicka damage dealer. And we're still going to use the two-handed on the front bar. Because that's what we have available. Now remember, I haven't even changed the enchants on my weapons either. I just changed how they worked. Now if I wanted to, this is the other thing I can do. And see, now I can change my weapons, my enchants on my weapons, to boost my ability to do damage. Because see, being a light armor character, my main focus is going to be, what? Maximizing my ability to play my character. Doing damage, doing whatever. So now, let's do that. Let's set our character up to be a Magicka damage dealer instead of a stamina damage dealer. And in order to do that, I need some tools from the Crown Store. Utility, respecs. Now remember, your character is only going to be as good as the game allows. That's it. You cannot be the best thing ever. Like if I wanted to try and hybridize this character, I could, but you got to remember, I'm limited to the tools I have available. And this race isn't a very good race for hybrid. So I'd have to really like know how to spread my points out to do that. So like this might be a good option, but the food I'm using, lousy option. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our tri-stat food. There we go. Now we have 26, 19, 24. And that's as good as it's going to get. Because our tools don't allow us to maximize our ability to play a hybrid. Now, if you were using sets that allowed you to maximize your hybrid ability, like Twiceborn Star, to where you could use two Mundus Stones, like the Lover and the crit one, you could take advantage of it. But it's really just what you have available. So let's go ahead and redo this again. We're going to go ahead and set it up, like you said, for Magicka, because that's where our character is going to excel the most. And you can see, even with just tri-stat food, like that's my max Magicka there, 30,000. But it's not completely maxed out, because we can go in here and change how our character works. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab the Mage's Guild Inner Light, because we want to max out our spell crit and our max Magicka. On this bar, I'm going to use the Psijic Order ability, Elemental Blockade, or Elemental Weapon. We're going to go ahead and go over here and grab Liquid Lightning, or Lightning Flood, and we're going to grab Mage's Wrath. And then we are going to grab another ability to put here, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to Undaunted, and we're going to grab the Mystic Orb. Then we're going to swap bars, and on the back bar, because we have the Lightning Staff, we can take advantage of it back here. We are going to leave Crit Surge, just to give us a way to boost our weapon and spell damage. So we're going to go to Destruction Staff. We're going to grab Crushing Shock, Elemental Blockade, and let's grab another thing from our class. So we are going to grab Daedric Minefield. Now, remember, this is just an option in how you want to play. You don't have to play this way, because you're going to find tools that you like to use more. And you're going to find a more effective way to play your character this way. I'm just showing you what you can do. And then let's go ahead and change our food to Witch Mother's Potent Brew. There we go. Now we have 30k Magicka, 18k health, 15k stamina, 29.35k spell damage, with a 27 on the back bar of weapon damage, and 2388 spell damage here, with 22,000 weapon damage here. And we have a 55% spell crit. This might be better for us. Let's go try it out. Because see, this is what it means to test a character. You can only do so much, because the game limits your options. Now, like I said, is there other gear sets out there that you could get that could give you better tools? Yeah. There's sets that drop in dungeons that could be way better than what these ones do. There's some that drop in Overland that could be better than what these sets do. But it's basically comes down to this. It's what you want your character to do and what tools you want to use. Because nobody can decide that but you. And that's what the game is all about. Now remember, I've only shown you how to play this as a Magicka and a stamina damage dealer so far. I haven't even shown you that this thing could be a tank and a healer. And it's pretty crazy when you play this that way. See, I told the person that I was going to try this out. I've already tested this a long time ago. See, I've already tested most of these ideas in the past. And I just showed you how, like, the way you could play the build the most effective. Like, if you wanted to be a Magicka damage dealer, here you go. You want to be a stamina damage dealer, here you go. Great, now there's no enemies. Well, we'll just jump around. Gosh. See, this is why I want to get that editing software, is so I can show you guys this without having to do this, like run around and look for enemies and stuff. So, but all right, here's an enemy. We'll just face this. This is cool. There you go. He's, you know, I killed it. I killed it with just the resto staff. But if I wanted to use this bar, I can actually use the elemental weapon, because I can take advantage of it on this, because it is a Magicka ability. See, and it does magic damage. And it deals an additional 7,748 magic damage and applies burning, concussed, and chilled status effects. And then I have elemental flood. And then or lightning flood. Then I have Mage's Wrath. And then I have orbs. And orbs is a really great damage ability. Like, don't deny that. It can be a really good damage ability because of how slow it travels. Like, when you're in a dungeon group and there's a pit of mobs in front of you and you throw that out, that goes across that group of mobs and it's doing damage as it's moving along. And it doesn't do, like, insane damage. As you can see, it does 1,227 damage every 1 second because it does damage in ticks. So, I really wish there was more mobs in the area. My gosh, game. Because I really want to show you. You know what we'll do? I got a better idea. Let's go. Let me do this. I have a mount. We're going to go ahead and ride to a public dungeon. There's one close by. And we'll just go in there. And I'll just show you guys this thing in the public dungeon. Because that's going to be the only option I have to show you. I mean, I could go to a regular dungeon. But I really just want to show you what I mean by you can do this. This is how you can play. And this is by choice. And like I said, I've tested a lot of these builds. I know their effectiveness because I've played them this way. I've tried them this way. Every option in the game that I can try, I've tried. Not like hardcore tried, but I've tried it enough to test it to make sure that the theory of it works. Because everything you do with character is a theory. You never know how effective it's going to be until you play it. And until you test it. Because that's what the whole concept of the game is. Trial and error. Because no matter what you do with your character can only be as effective as you want them to be. Or what the game allows. And I really hate this equipment bug. It drives me nuts. So I'm just going to run in here and I'm going to show you guys what I mean by how this thing can work even as a Magicka DPS. Now remember, I'm using a two-handed weapon because this is what the person asked me to do. They said, can you show me how to do this? And I said yes. And I can even show you how you can take advantage of it because that's what I know how to do, because I've been playing these games for a long time. And it's always the thing that intrigues me about playing a character is finding how every little way you can manipulate them and utilize every tool they have available. So here we go. I'm going to crit surge. I'm going to go ahead and put this out. There you go. And this is just playing in Overland, you know. This isn't nothing fancy. This isn't playing in a dungeon or anything like that. Because, you know what? I honestly don't know how well this would do in there. I don't. Because I'm not playing in a group. I'm playing by myself. But if you just want to play the game and have fun, it's a great build. It's a lot of fun. You just got to remember to keep your buffs up, because I keep forgetting that because I'm a noob. No, just kidding. I keep forgetting that because there's, like I said, there's just, this game has way too many options, and people don't realize that. Is that this game is all about the options that you choose. Now, that's done. There's a boss. We'll go fight the boss real quick. It's not going to be hard. I'm going to go ahead and use my ultimate. My Atronach. And this is the other reason why I like this. See, I have that ability to where I can get the 5k shield. Also, because I need something that's going to help me be survivable. Ow. There you go. And that's how the build works. And yeah, it's a casual build. But you know what? It's funner than hell to play. And that's what it's all about. Is having fun. It's not about restricting your ability to play. It's about showing yourself how you can play. And just like if you wanted this to be a tank, hypothetically it could. Now, what are you going to tank with it? Maybe a public dungeon, maybe a world boss, maybe even a normal dungeon. And then once you get skilled enough with your character and how they play, you might even find a way to tank with them in other content. It's just up to you to decide how comfortable you are with your build and how they play, or your character. Because that's the whole point of the game, is to show you the tools you have available and how you can play with them. Because it's so exciting when you break down your character into all these different roles and you see the options available. Alright, moving back to our house. Now remember, this character isn't going to be the greatest DPS, magic DPS character, because you're choosing to focus into stamina as well. And you have to learn that your character is limited by your ability of play. It is part of the game. Every character you make, no matter what, will have restrictions. Because that's how the game's designed. It's designed to restrict you to specifics. And there you go. Now we're going to get out of here, because I'm going to take you back to the house. I'm just going to show you guys, like, to be a healer with this, you can use this same setup that you're using right now. Like, to be a healer. All you have to do is change your skills to match that of a healer. Okay? But since we're playing this way, we only have one skill that's we have two skills that can heal, and we don't have a resto staff. So, in order for us to be a healer, we'd have to gain the resto staff tool, which means we'd have to run tooth row, or run the dungeon to get the tooth row resto staff. And if there wasn't one, we'd have to get a resto staff from somewhere else. So we could use the willpower one, which gives us increased max magicka, while we have that staff equipped on that bar. See, there's a lot of different things you have to look at when it comes to your character. You have to look at all the tools you can use in the game and how you can use them the most effective way you can. So let's go ahead and see what we can do as a tank. So we know what our resistance level is. It's really low. So we need tools that are going to make us tanky. And we know our limitations of our character as a tank because we know the limits of our character's design. So I'm going to grab this because this is going to give us increased resistance. Minor ward, minor resolve, all the time. We don't need anybody buffing us with it. We have it. And we're going to put it on both bars. We are going to increase or reduce our max magicka, but still get it back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab some skills to help us tank. So I'm going to grab Boundless Storm. I'm going to put it on the back bar, and I'm just going to move Crit Surge over. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to leave these two abilities, kind of. I'm going to move that one away. I'm going to keep this ability, though, right here, Lightning Flood. So I have some AoE damage abilities. This is going to help me and my group with damage. Now I'm going to go down to the guild skills, or the Alliance War skill. I'm going to grab Aggressive Warhorn. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to grab Aggressive Warhorn, and then I'm going to grab a Taunt from the Undaunted skill line. And we're going to put it on the front bar here. And then we're going to change a few of these skills around because we want to be more defensive. So I'm going to grab Two-Handed. this, and then we're going to grab the class shield, hardened ward. Oh, you know what? We could also grab the armor, light armor, one, and we could do this, harness magicka. This one gives us 7,283. This gives us 9,000. So we'll go with this so we can get magicka back when we get hit. We're going to go ahead and remove Mystic Orb, and what we're going to put there is we're going to put the Dark Magic, we're going to put Dark Conversion. Now, let's respec our attributes again. And we're going to do this. This is all we're going to do. We're going to take that up to 50, and this up to 14. Now, you guys are going to see my health is really low, but that's as high as it can get. So my character's not going to be the best tank in the game. We're also going to grab the Lady Mundustone to increase our critical resistance. Now, remember how I set up my CP? I set them up to be universal so I could do anything. There's what my CP looks like. That's what my resistances look like. You are more than capable enough right now to tank a normal dungeon. Okay? I know that for a fact, because I can tank a normal dungeon with this. In fact, I can't take on the DLC dungeons with this because you really need a group for those. I could go to any of the base game dungeons. I'm trying to think of one that I could get to easily. Like right quick so I could show you. Trying to remember where this dungeon is. It's all the way up. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll just go to Depths of Malatar. We'll just go there just so I can show you, because this is going to be a good way to show you like the tankiness of this, and we're just going to go in a normal, and you guys can see for yourselves like how survivable the build can really be if you play it. Like, it's not going to be the best tank, like I said, because your character's made to be a magicka character, because you chose light armor. Your character's going to be more effective with magicka.
Your note said abandoned, as in no one left inside.
Take it to the Imperial census.
Now look at our shield too. Our shield is also actually increased because we raised our max health. It's gone to 8,311. And we have Dark Conversion still. We have the Brawler, the Taunt. This. Let's see what our resistances look like. 22,000. We're probably going to get Raffle Stomped by this, but we'll just see what we can do. Okay. Oops. Alright, so there we go. Now we're getting to the boss. Now we can see how effective we really are as a tank. Now remember, this is a lot harder than playing the base game dungeons. The base game dungeons are designed to ease you into the more difficult content like this. And you have to figure out the best way to play that. So, got our taunt off, gonna pop our shields. Got to keep those shields up to prevent that damage. Oops. Oh, we're running low on magicka. Let's get some of that back. Just gonna try and kill him. Because that's all I can do. Oh, he's got me. He's got me. Oh, no, no, no. No, no. Oh. But there you go. You guys saw. Like, this thing is going to be capable of tanking base game dungeons. In here, you're definitely going to need a group. And it doesn't have to be a super organized group on normal. Like, as long as you can play effectively and you know how the build works, like, you could probably do it. But here's some advice. Remember the tools that I was talking about to make sure you have them available? You can unlock sword and shield. This is going to make you even tankier. And you can use an ice staff instead of a lightning staff. This is going to make you tankier. And you can actually take advantage of those tools because of how they work. This has got a taunt on it. It's also got major breach and major fracture. You've got deep slash, heroic slash, whatever. You've got the different tools here that you can use to take advantage of. And that's the whole point of the game. See, it's not about, like, I'm trying to make a god character. It's about, I'm trying to make a character I want to play and have fun with and enjoy the game with. And even though your character's only limited by design, like, this character would be really good, more or less as a tank. They would. Not as a healer, maybe even as a healer. And a damage dealer. Like, you're not going to be a super effective damage dealer unless you focus into magicka, because you're wearing light armor. And if you did that, you could utilize it when you need it. And then if you want to play like Overland and you want to run around with sword and like two-handed and whatever, you have that ability to do that. Like, that's what it's made to do. I just showed you how you could do that. Like, if you want to play the game how you want, play how you want. But when it comes to the content and the role you want to play, you've got to be that role. You've got to be that damage dealer. You've got to be that tank. You've got to be that healer. You're only limited to the options you have available. And like I said, this isn't the best tank you can be. You could be a better tank if you used other tools. And you can make it even a better tank. But you have to use what you have available to play the game. And see, this is what the game is truly about. A lot of people misunderstand or misinterpret its idea because, see, we were shown in like other MMOs that this is how things work, and you have to play this way for a certain reason. You ever play a warrior in World of Warcraft? Like, if you play them as a tank, your damage sucks. If you play them as a damage dealer, their damage is better. But they're not going to be as good as somebody else that's specialized in doing more damage. Because their tools don't allow them to be the same as somebody else. Their damage doesn't suck, it only does as good as the game allows. And like, if you did this build, right, you could actually use two-handed and dual wield. That would give you greater damage output when you're playing stamina. When you're playing magicka, if you went with two staves, that would be even better. You could go with a lightning and fire staff. Or you could go with dual lightning staffs because you are a sork and you can take advantage of the 5% increased lightning damage that your class has. See, this is what you have to learn how to do with your character. And it's not hard, it's not easy to figure out. It takes a lot of work to figure out how to do all this different kind of stuff. People ask me, why do you spend so much time on PTS? This is why. Because people give me ideas all the time. All you have to do is mention something, and it makes my brain turn on, and I just go crazy with it. So, but that's it for the video, guys. I mean, honestly, you can't get any more in depth than this on character development. I can't make it any other way other than this. And I'm sorry the video was long, but sometimes that's what happens. But that's pretty much it, like I said, for this video. If you like this video, you know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. You guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in game. Bye.